I'm going to be sharing with you guys my go-to coffee recipes, but because I know there will be questions, here's just a quick overview of the equipment and tools that I am using. I do have a Breville Barista Express. This is linked in my Amazon along with all the other tools as well. To avoid my beans from getting stale, I add them into the hopper each time. You'll see me do this in the video. And then I also am using filtered water in the back compartment. A lot of people ask me about maintenance for this machine, and it is mostly low maintenance. You do have to descale it every now and then, but otherwise it's just basic cleaning. It comes with your portafilter. I exclusively make double shots. Sometimes I'll make drinks with like a quad shot, but they do offer different baskets. So you can do a single shot or a double shot, and this basket pops out for you to clean as well. But all of your other accessories are going to be stored underneath the machine in this secret agent compartment. And underneath that grate is where you'll be cleaning most of the time. The machine also comes with a tamp. It's kind of built into the machine. I actually never used this. I immediately bought this little gadget, which again is linked for you. It disperses grounds and tamps them as well. I used this for so long. Now I'm currently using this spring-loaded tamp. It's wonderful, gives you even perfect pressure every single time. You don't have to get this fancy with it though. One important thing that I do recommend is a scale, especially if you have this machine. And then I have a dosing cup that I use every single time because, like I said, I don't put my beans, or I don't keep my beans in the hopper. And along with that, I use two tools. This is just a dosing ring, which keeps all the grounds inside. It just magnetizes to the top of the portafilter like this. And the next tool is a WDT tool. This helps with clumps and air pockets so that the water can flow through for an even extraction. I purchased all of my syrups at World Market in big bottles for just $9.99. They have a ton of flavors, and I keep the syrups in these mouthwash bottles. They're super easy and sanitary, and then I just buy these syrups from the normal grocery store. And the last little tool I have just to zhuzh up my drinks a little bit sometimes is this frother, also linked for you. Now I'm going to walk you through how I make just a basic double shot of espresso. Again, you can use all of the standard tools that come with your machine. I just use a couple of extra things for a more consistent pull. I'm waiting for my machine to warm up. I've got the portafilter warming up as well. All right, the machine is heated up. Time for our coffee beans. So I'm aiming for about 18.2. I'm going to take my beans, pour them in my hopper. Because I measure out each time, I have my grind setting turned to a full grind so that my machine grinds every single thing in the hopper. This is how fine my grind is. Sometimes there are some leftover beans or grounds in there, so that's why I'm double checking. All right, we're at 18.2, which is just fine. Transfer the grounds over, pop on my dosing funnel, and using that WDT tool, I'm just gonna break up any little chunks. Distributor tool. And then my tamp. And this is spring-loaded too, so I get the same tamp every time. She's pretty. We're gonna lock in our portafilter. And I'm brewing a double shot. This is how that first shot came out. Not so bad. We have a pretty good crema on there too. Probably just a little faster than we would like, but it all depends on the taste. And it tastes pretty good. So that is how I brew just a normal shot of espresso. But our first drink that we're gonna be making is a cookie butter latte, my favorite. If you are a longtime viewer of the channel, then you know Cookie Butter Mondays. So we have to start off with a cookie butter latte, which means we also need to use a larger vessel for our espresso extraction because, as you can see, a double shot does
fill this up. And we want room for the cookie butter and to stir. For a cookie butter latte, you need, of course, cookie butter. This is optional, but vanilla syrup as well. This drink is super simple and it's really fun to play with. First time I tried this was actually at a Biscoff stand at Fisherman's Wharf, Pier 39, San Francisco. It was like a whole legit thing, and it was where I tried my very first cookie butter latte, and I said, yes, I need that. We're gonna take a generous amount of cookie butter, about a tablespoon or so, more if you would like. This is the only thing that needs to go in your espresso cup. You also have the option to melt it in the microwave beforehand, which can help, but you don't have to. We're gonna follow all of our normal steps for making a shot of espresso. That was a good shot. I'm just going to mix to melt that beautiful cookie butter. Again, you can definitely do this in the microwave to kind of help the process along. The heat from the espresso really will be enough. All right, I'm gonna add in a tablespoon or so of that vanilla syrup. The cookie butter espresso, I have to commit to this pour because there is no pour spout. This might be messy. We did it. Add your milk. I do about that much milk. I mostly go for color. Okay, full disclosure, this drink is a treat. It is a treat. You can make it extra tasty by adding some cookie dough cold foam on top. I'm going to show you how to make cold foam later on in the week, but let's give this a taste test. This drink is one of my favorites for a reason. I love it so much. It's good hot or iced. It's just so delicious. And that is how you make a cookie butter latte. I'll see you tomorrow for our next recipe. Day 2, we are making a shaken espresso. I'm going to be using this wide mouth mason jar. I think that this is the easiest way to do shaken espressos. For a while there, I was using, you know, those little margarita shakers from Chili's. I was using those for a while. That works okay. This is 100 times easier. So the idea behind shaken espresso is that it changes the texture. So the espresso becomes foamy, lighter, and it's just a very pleasant overall experience. It is a very espresso forward drink. There's only like a splash of milk there and at the end, but you can always add as much milk that makes your heart happy. But this is how I do it. The other awesome part about this is you can use whatever flavor syrup that you want. Usually if I order this drink from Starbucks, I will ask for just classic syrup. I don't really get any flavors. Today we're doing a cookie dough syrup, chocolate chip cookie dough, because it sounded good. All right, we are following all the same steps as before. Okay, here is our espresso shot. Usually when I'm making this in the morning, I'm doing other things, so I can let this cool down for just a minute. You can do it freshly extracted, but I usually let this cool for at least like a couple minutes. Mason jar. I do about a tablespoon or so of syrup, not a whole lot. Next, we're adding ice. I'm gonna pour our espresso shot right on top. Lid and shake. I like mine to be really foamy. Afterwards, she looks beautiful. We're gonna add a splash of milk. You can get crazy and add a little bit of caramel. And the best part, and there you have a shaken espresso. My favorite drink. This is definitely the easiest of all the recipes, but it's the one that I make the most often. See you tomorrow for day 3 of our coffee series, and we are making a classic iced caramel macchiato. I used to love getting this from Starbucks all the time. So if you're not familiar, a macchiato literally just means espresso is being poured on top, and it has the most beautiful aesthetic look to it, but it also is really tasty. First we have to make espresso. We're gonna follow the same steps as before. This one is pretty much perfect. I'm gonna be using vanilla and caramel. Vanilla is gonna be the base of this drink. Even though it's a caramel macchiato, it is made with vanilla syrup, followed by milk. You also can line your cup with caramel syrup if you'd prefer beforehand, but for me, I just like to drizzle it on top. So next is ice. Of course, the most satisfying part is pouring the espresso. And then caramel drizzle. It's so easy, but it's one of my favorites. I love to make a version of this in the winter, and instead of vanilla syrup, use peppermint syrup, and then you can drizzle it with either white chocolate or chocolate sauce on top. Everyone should know how to make a caramel macchiato at home. Today we are making an iced latte. My favorite way to make an iced latte. This flavor combination is top tier. We're cozy today. I am filming a reading vlog, so if you're in the mood to be cozy and just chill, definitely go check out. Same steps. So we are making a toffee nut and white mocha iced latte. Now I have toffee nut syrup, which is an essential component, but then I have 2 options for the white mocha. I can either do a white mocha drizzle, or I can do a white chocolate syrup, and they do taste pretty different. The best bang for your buck is obviously going to be the white chocolate syrup, but the drizzle is going to taste way more decadent. So I'm going to be using the drizzle and not the syrup. I'm going to start by adding toffee nut into our glass. Again, I eyeball this. We're adding in our espresso. I love this little device. I installed it in our sink so I could easily rinse things, and it's been a dream. Okay, we're gonna give it a swirl. Ice. And finally, drizzle on top. And we are done. So besides the flavors of the drinks between today and yesterday, which was the iced caramel macchiato, the difference is how you incorporate the espresso and the milk. So macchiato, espresso is poured on top. Latte, it's all fully mixed. I'm in love. Also, I got this cup from Home Goods. I'm gonna go and have a little cozy reading session, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for day 5. Happy Friday. Today I'm going to show you how to make a sweetheart latte. I call it a sweetheart latte because it is pink. You can choose to use pink food coloring or completely omit it. If you omit it, it's basically just a birthday cake latte. We're starting off the same way as all of the other drinks by brewing 2 shots of espresso. except this time before we brew our espresso shot, we're gonna put some white chocolate sauce in the cup. This is what you will get, and we're going to give that a stir. And you'll end up with this, and we're gonna let that cool for just a second. And the flavor we're gonna use today is almond roca. This flavor mixed with white chocolate tastes like birthday cake. It is the best combination. Of course, milk. And this is where we're adding that pink food coloring. You can just stir this in with a spoon, or if you have a whisk, you can do that. If you do want a pink latte, I would definitely recommend adding more pink than you think. Of course, ice. Right on top. Very gently. Oops. Oh, she's beautiful. Yeah, this latte is beautiful. I mean, who wouldn't want a pink latte? And bonus, when you use your hand whisk to froth up the milk, it adds texture, of course, but then you get that pretty pink foam on top too. So absolutely one of my faves. You have to try this flavor combination. So those are the main recipes, combinations, and drinks that I keep in my rotation. I have about 8 syrups that I regularly make drinks with. That being said, I do like to mix it up every now and then. I'm gonna include just a few more different flavor combinations and recipes and things that you can try now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you found a little bit of coffee inspiration here. You guys can always tag me over on Instagram. Love seeing what you're doing and reposting it to my story too. I love you guys so much. Like this video, subscribe and join the family down below, and I will see you in the next one.